What's up, guys? Microphone is still not working, so I have to use my phone here. That's all right. It's another day, another dollar, another cross on the crosser. Today was probably let's say on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like, I really got a lot done today. 1 being like I literally watched Netflix all day. I would say I was at like a 6.7. I think a 6.7 is pretty conservative. Given today there was a lot of like new things thrown at me, so like my schedule was off. I want to try to be a little more religious about my schedule and kind of stick to my schedule a little more and not have to kind of like get distracted with other projects. Like if I do get another project on the board, I'll only do it right now if it's like completely urgent. If it's not urgent, then I'm just gonna add it on my task list. Like that was my problem today. It was like if I got a task or if I got like a ping from a team member, I just answered it, ASAP and there's like a balance to it. At a certain level, you may not be able to get back to your team members ASAP because a lot of times your team can actually answer those questions on their own. So that's kind of something that I've been facing is I kind of get distracted by internal communications a lot. So that's also why we're getting a COO in place, which we already have the perfect person for. Just get them onboarded right now and getting them like all get a plan in place and get everything situated. I think in the next 90 days, it's gonna look really, really bright for our company. we have a lot of work to do. Still, a ton of like projects to do to enhance kind of our overall user experience. It's not as easy as people think. Running a SaaS company, people are like, oh yeah, you just you just give them access to high level or your white label high level and that's it. Well, you got shit like customer support, okay? And then you have, this is just departmentalized, but like you have shit like customer support, you have shit like customer success, you have shit like product development, you have shit that you never even knew that you were required to do to run a SaaS company. And there's a lot of different things that go into doing this SaaS stuff. So with customer support, it's like there's so many different moving parts. It's like, okay, well, one, do they at least have an email they can reach out to? If not, do they have live chat? And if they don't have live chat or email, how do they reach out to you? Is it through like Instagram DMs? Is it through like Facebook community requests? And I'm not saying we're the best, we have the best customer service in the world at the time of the speaking, but we are working towards that point to have a really, really great customer service. Like some people will literally rep a company just for the high customer service. And I think with customer service at the base comes with a great knowledge base. And with the knowledge base, a lot of people just hate doing knowledge base writing. I think in order to get knowledge base done, you have to hire someone who understands the product really well and is willing to only be hired to craft knowledge bases. I think that is probably the most valuable thing, is having someone physically go through your entire product and their sole goal is to just write the knowledge base for it. And it's a lot. It's like very you have to go very step by step. I mean, you gotta make sure your help docs, like one, you don't have to be there to solve it, and two, like a fucking 3-year-old can understand them. And I'm talking in the sense of even also like with team help docs, like SOPs within the team. Because if you don't have SOPs within the team, everything's really disorganized. Everyone has their own way of doing something. So then like metrics at the high level don't make sense, because it's like, okay, well, we're quote unquote doing the right things, but why isn't this actually translating into our metrics? And it's because, well, everyone follows a different process. Everyone gets like a certain level of training, and it's like, okay, well, it's not standardized. And I get why now, the big corporate companies have such a, there's no flexibility in a lot of processes, because even like with with dealing with nuance, they don't deal with nuance. They just like, hey, this is policy. It's like they don't deviate at all. Very, 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 very rarely they'll deviate at all. Most of the time, the employees will have to follow company policy. And now I'm starting, like, before I didn't really understand this. I was like, you guys are total jackasses and whatever. But now I'm understanding that, from a company perspective, it makes a lot more sense for them to not have to deal with that stuff and just tell their customer, like, hey, this is just policy. It is what it is. But they kind of make it in such a way where they still provide great service, but it's just kind of like, hey, here's the reality. We can't really bend rules for you. So there's ways to do it, but I'm starting to fully internalize it now, why they do it that way. So it's just like, because when you're at such a grand scale, and when you have managers managing managers and managing other managers and managing their managers, it's like, okay, well, how do we make sure everyone in the company of freaking 500 people are able to actually to follow a standardized process? Because the thing with processes or SOPs is, if someone does it a different way, right, then we can't really have predictable results. You could be hitting the KPIs correctly, like you can be hitting all your KPIs, but the problem is, like, okay, well, if everyone hits their KPIs, but everyone actually hits the inputs differently, then the results are skewed. The data would be skewed. It's like, okay, well, even though we've made this many dials and this many calls and this many unique leads, why isn't that translating like per each team member? There's like two variables. There's one, which is like making sure everyone follows the same onboarding, team onboarding, employee onboarding, training and all that. But two, also time. I think sometimes you make judgments too quickly. There's also like other variables in play, but that's honestly just 20% of the game. 80% of the game is making sure everyone is following the same damn process. It's making sure that if you cut a banana this way, I'm also, Jerry and Jimmy in the company also cut it the same way. Instead of like, okay, Jimmy cuts it horizontally and then Jerry cuts it vertically. It's like, okay, well, no, we need to all cut it horizontally and then we cut it vertically. It's like, okay, so that's kind of what SOPs are, is making sure that standardization happens at scale, not just for you in the sense, but for anyone to come in and be able to get the job done exactly how you want it or exactly how it needs to be done. So it may make sense to hire someone specifically just to write knowledge bases, just to write. And honestly, now that gives me an idea, like we probably maybe should just hire someone specifically to write our knowledge base as like a one-off project, Maybe that makes sense, now thinking about it, and like write all our SOPs and stuff. But the thing is, like with SOPs, it's like the amount of back and forth you're gonna have with them, it's like you might as well just do them yourself. Because like even if they do get a draft, you're gonna have to do like this change, and so on and so forth. So it's like, okay, well, no, that kind of sucks. So that's why I really do. This brings into another topic, like physical offices. It's like you can do a lot more when you have like a physical office. Like you can, like team productivity, no one can argue with me on this, is like the team productivity, the overall company productivity will like at the very least have a 50% or 100% increase in actual productivity. And I think it's pretty realistic, because like everyone, and like it's also probably easier, well, it definitely is easier to create a culture in your company. It's very hard to build culture virtually, and the people who've done it are pretty impressive. But I mean, it's very hard to build culture when you are virtual. When you are in person, it's, oh my gosh, so much easier to build culture. When you have an in-person team and you guys are all in one single office and you guys are all towards, one specific goal in the company. It's like, okay, well, now I know, it's not like I'm nosy or whatever, but I know you're working. Like, I know you're on your thing. I'm like, you're not doing something completely different. And also, like, this brings into another question of like, okay, like time tracking software is like Time Doctor. If you're tracking time for your employees, I also like, I'm starting to like rethink, per hourly basis is like, does it make sense to do that? Or is it like, hey, hit these KPIs every day and then you're going to be paid a flat retainer per month? And it's like that's kind of that. You're just paid a flat retainer. And there's an argument to it, like, okay, what if there's something that happens that requires them to work after hours, or what if there's something that requires them to do additional tasks, which a lot of times is what happens. And my counter to that is like, okay, well, if they're not willing to do something that wasn't quote unquote part of their, I guess, contract, like, I'm not saying, go start another company for us. It might just be like a couple of handful of projects, and it wouldn't be something that didn't make sense, of course. But it's like, if someone is complaining about this and that, should they really be in the company? Like, should they really be a part of our company? Because they should understand that what they're doing is towards the better good. But that's also part of the retainer, and also part of the contract you have agreed with the person. Is like, okay, is it solely confined to this like core group of tasks, or is it like a greater group of higher level tasks? So I have a lot of thoughts on this stuff. We're continually bettering the service day by day, and we're making sure that our clients feel good about our customer service. And last night, even after all these improvements, I had someone reach out on Instagram, and I was like, yo, support's been pretty shit, and I've been pissed off about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so I tried helping him on the call. I wasn't in office, so I wasn't able to really do anything. But I identified the issue, reported it to the support team, and we're getting that figured out. So, it's tough. Again, like, running a SaaS company is not fucking easy, but that's also why the multiples are so high. It's like, well, there's SaaS companies that have sold for fucking 20x EBITDA, but there's also SaaS companies that, what the fuck, are valued. Wait, do I not need a ticket? Okay, so I guess I do need a ticket. So, like, you have a lot of SaaS companies that I think they usually sell around like 8 to 12x. But again, like, it just depends on the company that you created, and like so many different variables. So it's like, that's a very generalized number, and it's definitely like not too accurate, but definitely within the ballpark. What the fuck? 20 spots, dude. Why is it so busy today? What the fuck? So, and honestly, also SaaS companies are extremely hard to grow. I honestly think I got pretty lucky growing my SaaS company, because we had a really great affiliate, and I have a really good partner. But I don't know, there's a couple of different perspectives to it. SaaS companies in general are very hard to grow, but that's what makes it so worth it, and that's what keeps me motivated. Is like, the harder it is, the happier I get, or at least like the more grateful I get. Not at that exact moment when the hard happens, but like a day after, I'll be like, I'm grateful that I've learned that lesson, and I've kind of like been able to peel back. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? I've been able to peel back, the lesson in that L, so there's different perspectives, and I'm still really young. I'm still 18, and I'm learning a lot of things about operations, product development, customer support, customer success, what to do, not to do. I'm definitely the youngest person in SaaS Academy, which is essentially Dan Martell's SaaS mentorship or coaching program. And you know, oh shit, yeah, I definitely parked like ass. I don't really care. But I'm learning day by day. And if I make money, I make money. But the goal right now is to serve as many people as possible and to make them as much money as possible. And in return, I end up making money just because I ended up helping them. That's kind of the goal there. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys on the next video.